Yeah, not too clean here. But so that's a supply zone. Remember that. It's important to know. Which chart has a very clean demand zone that was tested recently? Hive, I guess. Stream not working for anyone else. I'm recording as well, Cypress. So in case you're unable to record, let me know, and I will just upload myself. Does Hive have one? I mean, you could argue this was one on Hype. This is, and so the first one we saw on XRP is a supply zone. This is a demand zone, right? Because we have this order block, which we formed on our aggressive move up. And when price is going to move back into this region, you can expect somewhat of a support coming into play. You also have the advantage here that on the left side of the chart, you also had previous all-time high, so that generally tends to also work as support. Now, what we're seeing here on Hype is the second part of the supply and demand mechanics, which I wanted to discuss. And that's basically a continuation, which you're seeing here. So what will happen is, and I have screenshots, which I'll post in the Discord afterwards as well with some examples. What happens when we get these aggressive move upwards somewhere along the way? What a wonky arrow. Let me fix that with this one. Somewhere along the way, you get these very explosive moves with no pullbacks, but you will form some type of a demand zone. This also goes to the downside, right? We'll go over the downside mechanics as well. And this will indicate you or tell you that you could potentially go long here if price revisits that area. Now, what we're seeing here is that we formed our rally, and if price is going to return here and we're going to get a second leg, you want it to form a base here. So you'll have to rally. Here you will form the base, right, inside this demand. We also had a very nice deviation and a reclaim setup, so you can use the reclaim setup as well as extra confirmation. And then you want to see the second leg. Sometimes it comes back as well to test like, okay, is this support or is this demand actually being treated as demand, right? Isn't it just a mean reversion bounce? And it did in the case of Hype here, right? So rally, base, rally. This is a pretty important concept to understand, especially as we get these very explosive moves to the upside on BTC, on ETH, on Sol, on whatever we will see. I'll go over it, BTC in a sec as well. And then in terms of the supply side, if we go on a downtrend, prepared an example with ETH. You will see the same thing here. Also not working for you. I would suggest restarting your Discord, because it's not from my side that I can fix that, unfortunately. So from the supply side, you can do the same thing on downtrending assets. He doesn't have the cleanest one, but what you could see here was, okay, it slammed into res, right? Got rejected, moved down, came back into support, bounced a bit. Also formed supply here, by the way, which you can use later as a take profit if price is going to go here. In the coming weeks, 3.6k is probably going to be a good area to take profit, by the way, because this is a single print, and single prints are tend to react very aggressively to price. But the supply we formed here, very, very wonky one, but it still acts as supply for continuation to the downside, because price doesn't manage to reclaim it. basically, right? I will send you the screenshot I made earlier. Give me a minute. And then we will also go over a lower time frame demand one on BTC, which we'll probably be able to use this week or next week if we do get a pullback, which is this one, right? We had a very aggressive move yesterday from BTC. We broke out of a 7-month range. And now on the high time frame, there's basically no real support and resistances you can trade, right? Yeah, you could bid 110K, but the chances of you getting a 110K clean retests is very slim given the explosiveness of the move and given the fact that there isn't a lot of leverage in the system yet, right? So then you're gonna check, okay, what do I see on the 12-hour? Well, same thing basically, right? Yeah, we formed the demand zone here, an untapped one. So if price is going to tap here, we should get a good response. But given everyone's fully bulled up, you're likely not going to get that clean of a retest. So then you zoom in a bit more. On the H4, still nothing. Same thing, right? Still have demand here. 2 hours. On the 2 hour, you can see here. Supplies a demand zone, demand zone. So these two areas you could use for a continuation play. And if BTC is truly bullish, it never will give you this entry, because that would be too clean, unless there's like a lot of leverage in the system, which there isn't right now, right? You can check on Velo, for those of you that don't know. I'm sure Polkies and JD and all the other open interest traders have a guide for open interest, so you can use that. Then you can just go here and check what's going on under the hood and use that to see like, okay, oh shit, what's that? How did I just copy that? Okay, delete that. Did not need that. Maybe just dox myself. Hello. Futures, BTC. There we go. Okay, you get the idea. You can find the chart if you go to Velo. And there you can then see if open interest is actually starting to get way too elevated and if things are getting frothy, but they're not right now. So these are the levels you're going to have to work with, because we're basically in price discovery, so you don't have anything else to work with. And usually when price comes here, you will get a good reaction. And then you can start playing continuation, right? So let's say we are a little bit topped for now. Don't mean macro topped or local top. Then you want to see BTC form somewhat of a base inside either of these two zones, right? And then once that base is formed, you will be able to take a trade based on the fact that, okay, let's say BTC deviates below 115, it reclaims 116. That's your support now in an ideal world. And then we can potentially target 125 with a 1 or 2% stop, right? And that's how you can play continuation in terms of demand zones, because demand zones will be more important right now as supply zones, because, well, we're in price discovery and we can expect a lot of vaults to also go into price discovery very, very soon. Let me share the screenshot of that one as well. Luckily not the latest Pornhub yet, thank God. Now, if price doesn't give a good reaction here, then that tells you, okay, this isn't really real demand. So we can aim at 113, 114-ish for a reaction. And then, of course, you have this one below as well. But in a truly bullish market, you want to see very quick reaction in and out of this zone. A good example of that Which example did I use last time? Was it Sol? Probably Sol. Here you go. Good example of that is Sol here, for example. I mean, this was a very extraordinary event, meaning that we had like the Japan carry trade unwind. And I'm repeating myself a bit from last week, but this is the type of reaction you want to see in a demand zone that's untapped, especially that on higher time frames, right? We never tapped this 115, 110 zone. And once it finally did, you got like a 20% bounce instantly. Now, the more it taps it, the weaker it gets, right? Like we saw later on. But the first few tabs of very high time frame demand zones usually give very, very good bounces. And they can be used for very nice intraday scalps and mean reversion bounces. Does everyone get that? Are there any questions regarding that? I'll take a minute and you guys can gather your thoughts. Or not type anything and make me sit in awkward silence here. How do you figure out where the demand and supply zones are? Ideally, you start from a very high time frame perspective. For example, this one on Sol is heavy supply. Because you see, it's all red candles, right? So that means there is, let's call it air. There is nothing but air here. So that also tells you there won't be any resistance above that area. Same way it moved up there without any resistance, right? Moved up without resistance and it moved down without resistance. And then when we came here, we stalled a bit, which you can see on the weekly by the fact that this is a green candle instead of a red candle. And then we had an aggressive bounce. And this now tells you, okay, there is some supply formed here because we had both buyers and sellers fighting here, for lack of a better term. So when price is going to revisit this $170 to $180 zone, it's going to be met with resistance, which it did, right? We zoom out. When we came in this zone, which we just drew out on the weekly, there was a lot of selling pressure, and we did retrace a lot of it again. Now we're gonna tap it at third/fourth time, and granted BTC is gonna stay bullish. We want to see this get flipped aggressively, right, and move at least to 210. And now we see on the 3 daily on 210 and in the $200 zone. Let's say you don't know what happened here, right? You don't know there's any price action to the left side of the chart. We only have this to work with. Then you can see, okay, last time we traded here, there was also some type of resistance, so it's not going to flip super easy, and there is overhead supply here. So I don't want to be max longing into this region. I want to wait for a flip, or I want to sell into this region and then recalibrate my trading plan. So with the next supply zone on Sol be at 120. No, supply is when it's above the price, let's say, and demand is when it's below. Does that make sense, Mark? Demand on Sol here would be this region now, this 147 to 153, because we moved out of it, outside of this pocket aggressively. We started flipping this 160 resistance, and now we left some untapped demand here. You always want to look at the untapped regions, basically, when trading supply and demand. So you could even go as far as saying, if you zoom in on the daily, that this is your This is your demand. Because it didn't reach there. Reach that. It reached here because you saw the very small pullback we had here, right? But it didn't go back here. So if we go there, it's gonna give somewhat of a bounce. It should give somewhat of a bounce. Also had a very clean demand zone on Bonk. And this is also something you can use, especially with supply and demand, which is like single candles. Like you just saw the single candle on Sol at 180. Bong also printed one on the weekly back in 2023, 2024. So it broke out very aggressively, right? It didn't give any pullback basically on the weekly. If we zoom in, you're gonna see pullback and you're gonna find an easier entry. But what usually happens when you get this single print type candle, which has a very aggressive move, it always returns there in some way, shape, or form and gives you a very good bounce. Hello, James. How you doing? Which you can see here on Bong as well, right? It moved away very aggressively. Price stopped out, market pulled back for whatever reason, and then you got a very nice bounce once it finally came back here and basically backfilled the inefficiency it left behind. Although I don't like to call them inefficiencies, but that's one way of looking at it. Because there was like nothing but air here. You got some bounces in between, right? Which you can also see if you zoom in. Like these single print candles on very high time frames are usually very good areas for a sting bid, for example. For something you think might never get filled, but once it hits, you get like usually a 10-20% move in one go, which you then obviously sell if it's like a super bearish move. Similar here as well. We formed fresh demand after, like, we formed our base, right? After the aggressive candle on the weekly, all that stuff cooled off, started moving up again. And now on the daily, we formed a very clean daily demand print. Let's say you missed this initial move, right? Or you bought here, you sold here because resistance was coming up. We create a single print daily demand. Price moves up again, you think you missed the move. Price retraces, gives a very nice bounce into this demand area. And once again, forms a base. So you had the rally, now you had the base, and your second move upwards. And then again, we rejected close to all-time high or around all-time high. So you can use it for sting bits, you can use it for continuation. You can just use it to supply or how to say it, combine it with your support and resistance trading. That makes sense. Now, the more a demand gets tapped, the weaker it gets, right? Same for supply. I think that's self-explanatory. Alt's pulling back a bit. And also something you don't always need, especially with these lower time frame demand zones, you don't always need to immediately enter on the first tap, right? Because then sometimes you just get wicked out and go straight to your stop. Sometimes it's good to wait for a double bottom. Then at least you have some type of extra confirmation. Did I miss anything? I mean, it's pretty simple once you get the hang of it, to be honest. There's no need in overcomplicating it. Sometimes so when you should wait and when you should not. I think the lower time frame you go, the more you want to wait, to be honest. Like if it, for example, this weekly demand we had on Bonk, it's like such an aggressive move down that in a sense you almost want to bid it because it's so exaggerated. Whereas with BTC here, we just made new all-time high. It's pretty logical people are going to start taking profit, so you don't want to just be instantly relonging every single micro bounce you get, right? I think that part comes down to gut feeling and just looking at the chart as well. Like, let's say we come here and it's only perps holding up the price and no spot buying happening. That's not really what you want to see, right, for a continuation upwards. In which case, you can then again use Coinalyze to check open interest and see what's going on under the hood. Is there one on Ray as well? Would be good to have one on Ray, to be honest. Ray was a very clean setup, by the way, because it like Dog looks alright for like it's not super rounded, but it's nice in the fact that it's tapped this 479 resistance a few times already. We've traded here for a bit, and when price came and back tested this area, it basically V-shaped instantly. So also a good breakout here. These are like the type of bottoms you want to see right now. I think that's it for the supply and demand side, to be honest. If there's any more questions on that, let me know. If there's any charts you want me to look at regarding that specific matter, also let me know. We can go over them now, learn from them together. I now know how my teachers felt when nobody was responding to them in class. Shorting portal. Let's do Pengu. Pengu is a good one in a sense that it's into supply here now. Because it's this previous breakdown area, so until it flips, this is a good place to take some profit. You had 2 daily supply basically here. And if it flips, you can of course turn bullish here. But here is a good place to take profit. If you want to aim on continuation, then you can draw out your demand zones, right? Because you have here, you have something. Big zone though. And you just have some simple support here as well. How you play it? I think for me in general, how I would play anything right now is wait for that 4 or 5% BTC pullback and then buy a bunch of stuff that is in logical areas. For Pengu, I would TP here, of course, logically speaking. Unless you want to go full bull mode and just hold for the breakout and not miss anything. But it's a logical spot to TP here and then wait for a potential 10-20% pullback. Like towards 18.6 is a 20% pullback, so. XRP to 455, I wouldn't be surprised, James. Between 0.23 and 0.25. Yeah, between 0.23 and between 0.25 is your supply. But given we're in max bull territory, you also can justify shorting it, so I would just wait for a pullback to re-long. And then the more it's going to tap this region, the weaker it's going to get, right? And the more chance you're going to have that it actually breaks through. Now, if you don't want to buy the dip here, then what you want to do is wait for the flip of this 2.5 region, basically. Shorting Portal. I mean, I don't think there's anything on Portal that could help us regarding supply and demand. This just squeezed. I wouldn't touch it from both sides now. Like low time frame, you could have shorted this region, but it didn't even tap it, right? So if it's gonna tap this, maybe it breaks through this time and it first stops you out before breaking down. I like when they tap it and they just completely roll over. I don't like it when they front run it, especially, I mean, when you're shorting something like this, I mean. You want to see that clean hit and then go down, because then you have your stop above these highs, and if it goes there, well, you lose. If it doesn't, you win. Now you TP here because here you have some demand, which it formed on the way up on very, very low time frame. Isn't there a longer? Yeah, there we go. Virtual is a bit too choppy here for me, for my liking. Like you have breakdown resistance here. You have supply here. Not very clean. Fed's probably going to be a similar story, if I remember correctly. I'll do Fed, and then I want to go over some on-chain stuff I use. For those of you that want to go on-chain a bit. I don't know. I don't like Fed. Like, there's nothing I can do here. Yeah, it tells me there's supply here. It got tapped. That's it. Probably if it goes here again, you want to take some profit. Heavy resistance all around. Okay, let's do on-chain next. It's not going to be something super crazy, but for those of you trading on-chain, some stuff that can help is, well, firstly using Axiom because they have everything. They allow you to filter on newly launched coins. They allow you to wallet track. They allow you to track Twitter handles. I have a full list which I can share you guys. And what happens is you can just... Oh, wait. Add handle. You can just add people and track them. And whenever they tweet, you will get an alert here. Let's see. Maybe John's tweeting and we can get a tweet so you guys can see it. So this is super useful because when you're trading memes, often you want to be ahead of like whatever event is happening. Let's say Trump got shot, right? If you were tracking media outlets and you saw a coin on Pump Fund that's not a rug, you could have very, very quickly capitalized on that opportunity. And I used to filter stuff on Deck Screener, but Deck Screener is so slow that it's almost impossible to keep up. But with the Axiom filter, it's instant. You see everything, and my filter settings are this. So, no, not the top 10% holders. Holder count 10. Dev holdings and bundlers doesn't matter. Insiders doesn't matter either because these often give false positives. Same for pro traders. And then liquidity very much depends on how risky you want to go, and volume as well. I usually set volume on 2K because it tracks the volume on the time frame you give it here at the top. 1 minute, 5 minute, 30 minute, 1 hour. Holy fuck. XRP. And then transactions 10. And then market cap also depends on how risky you want to go. Like I sometimes go on 7K and then you see whatever is above 7K comes in here. And there's usually like 10, 15 coins at a time that come up. And it's pretty easy to track in general. If you want to go a bit less risky because these micro caps have a very low hit rate, you can say, okay, I only buy stuff that's above 500k, and then you will get a lot less stuff. Did I put 50k? That way you'll be more easily able to find coins that are gaining traction, that are being traded at the moment. And then you will also get alerts with the tracker stuff you are entering here in the Twitter alerts, but also in the wallet. So once you find some good wallets, you can add them here. Just copy it, click add wallet. You can give them a name. And then once someone buys and you go to a certain coin, let me see if I can find an example. I'll show the dev cells on this one. Yeah, so usually what you see on coins is dev buying and dev selling, right? So if you then will have a wallet that you're tracked, the wallet will show up in the shard automatically. So that's also very nice if you're constantly monitoring that stuff. Like I won't give you guys the wallets I'm tracking, but I can give you guys the list of the people I am tracking on Twitter. I'll post that somewhere after the stream. Yeah, let me send this. And you can also turn off pump fun and stuff if you don't want to trade pump coins. Because there hasn't been coming anything useful out of pump fun for the past few days, so then naturally you want to turn that off. Because otherwise you'll just waste energy looking at it, filtering it, whatever. You want to make it as easy as possible for yourself not to trade these things. Alt's pulling back a bit on the first. A bit of resistance BTC is met with. Interesting. So yeah, that's it pretty much. All the rest will come down to gut feeling. Is it a good meme? It's obviously going to be very hard trading memes right now because the game's already been played a bit, right? So I think it's a lot more useful if you go into high conviction bets instead of trying to trade micro caps because those rug 99.9% of the time. Just a word of caution. Like if it was early 2024, it would be completely different playground, but yeah. That's it. Hope that helps some of you guys. In terms of supply and demand, if you have any shorts you've made and need help with that, you can always tag me in short IDs as well. Uses and Econ pulled back a bit. Yeah, I think all stuff on Bong is going to pull back into the pump fund ICO. Well, in general, I think alts in general will pull back a bit. Useless got listed on Bybit, but didn't react so much, which tells you actually also a lot of stuff but where we're at in the meme coin stuff, right? You need to catch these things before they get listed and then sell upon a listing because listings barely have any impact nowadays because Bybit and Binance are listing all the bullshit. Good example of a single print on the H1 in terms of supply, by the way. You see how aggressive it reacted when it got there? When it wigged actually into it. And then 20% drop. Do you recommend selling both now and re-entering when they pull back? I mean, I took a lot of profit between 200 and 300 mil on Useless, and on Econ only have a moonback left because I sold a lot at 30 mil when I posted in the Discord and also on Telegram. So I'm just holding my moonbacks, and I will just rebuy if we form some type of base on them. Can you trade on Axiom too? Yeah, you can trade. You just go here, deposit Sol, only deposit Sol. Don't deposit any coins into this because they will be lost. Deposit Sol, and then your Sol will just show up here. Maybe something I should go over, which can be very useful when you're trading. So then you will go here. You can choose the amount you will buy or sell. And if you go to advanced trading, you can already put a take profit, let's say, because memes move very fast, right? Especially if you go into like the 50K, 100K section. And what you can do is say, okay, I will sell 50% if it goes up 50%. And then you can also place a stop loss saying, okay, if it goes down 50%, I'm out immediately. Just so that you don't need to execute yourself and you can just set that order yourself. Then your order will show up here. Now you can cancel it or not cancel it, depending on what you need, right? Very useful feature. Works very, very smooth. Worked better than Bullex? Yeah, a lot better. Like a lot better. I feel like the website in general is a lot smoother than Bullex as well. Like Bullex was very laggy at times, I feel like. Have you used GMGN? No, I have not. I think Axiom is the best right now. I don't know if it's better because I didn't use it, so yeah, no clue to be honest. Also interesting to see they integrate it with Hyperliquid, by the way. Just noticing. Could be useful for next cycle if there's gonna be a meme coin season on Hyperliquid. Which is 1 year out or so, but anyway, it's good to see they're already doing stuff like that. Anything else I missed here? You can also trade perps on here. I haven't tried it. I don't think the liquidity is all too great. I don't know what the order book is linked to. Maybe it's linked to Hyperliquid's perps. I don't know. That's just me guessing. But yeah. There we go. You see? Now you get like updates from everything they tweet. Maybe someone makes a coin strawberry pickers. I don't know. Let's see. You can also filter on keywords. So let's say strawberry. Okay, nothing. Also, political tokens usually don't work so well. So be careful with them. Like 99.9% of them rug instantly. So yeah. That's it. Any other questions, guys? Let's see if we can find some more examples. Omni. No. XLM. James, are you also long XLM? Or no? Is James still here? Yeah, he is still here. Nice. Good shit. That EMA, that's an EMA I made myself. It's on my WOP if you want to buy it. I'm not really shilling it because I want to get some more stuff out before. XRP triangle. Imagine this breaks out, man. Holy fuck. What's the market cap on it? 170 bill. What's the market cap on ETH? 360. How do you identify that as supply? Because it's an untapped region with a single print on the tree daily, and then if you go on the daily, it's also just pinned here. I will send you this guide. I didn't send it last. I sent it last time as well. Like it can help you rehash what I just said. I need a demand on XRP for a pullback. I don't think XRP is going to give any meaningful pullback into demand, to be honest. Maybe 265. It's the only one I can find now. Or you could just play regular support and resistance and wait for it to go back to 260. So we have support there. So yeah, on the hourly you have this little demand. That's basically it. Crazy candle. XRP leaving everyone, but yeah, I don't think XRP is gonna give a clean pullback, man. It's gonna be super aggressive. A bit. Are you participating in the token launch of Pump? I don't know, to be honest. I might be mid-curving this, but I don't know. I think I won't, to be fair. Like I don't have the conviction to hold Pump. So I don't think I will trade the token launch. It can probably do it 2x or something, I would say. Like it very much reminds me, and I think I discussed this with HBJ on stream yesterday, or with Pat. It reminds me a lot of the Ape launch. Like Ape was also pretty hated, right? And everyone was like, yes, coin's going to zero, blah blah blah. It launched, formed some type of a base, and then did a 2x or 3x, whatever. I think Pump Fund can do something similar to that. Maybe if it gives a clean setup like this, I will trade it. But if it's just going to rip straight out of the gate, I'm not even gonna bother. TRX, CVX, and CRV next run hard. Yeah, I'm a big TRX bull, James. TRX is gonna do something crazy, and nobody's ready for it. TRX is the stablecoin chain by default, and people are still fading stablecoins so hard, man. Like, it's the only proxy people have to Tether right now. It's the only fucking Tether proxy. Because Tether will never go public, so I don't know. I don't understand why nobody else is talking about it. Maybe I'm early. Maybe I'm early or I'm wrong. Same thing, right? TRX already done a lot. Yeah, but TRX also didn't really pull back, right? I mean, it it's just up only, and that's a good thing in this market where everything gets obliterated. Like it's flipping res here, little bit of supply here. So maybe you have some resistance there. But this is clean now. Very nice slope forming. Yeah, this is a good example of what I meant when I was talking about Ray earlier. It's forming this very nice slope of higher highs from its structure here. Like it's flipping here, so you could argue this is actually your trigger to long it here. Like in the past, we would say like, oh, it's a Dino coin, it's gonna top the market, right? But it's outperformed ETH by a lot. We're then good for a long. Let me go check Modem real quick and then we go back to TRX. No, I wouldn't long it here. It's pretty sensitive. Maybe here around 19.2. You have demand there. Do you think we get a big reaction from pump fund memes? I've been debating that with myself as well, and I genuinely do not know. I would like to say yes, but I think Fartcoin is still the best proxy. Like you're saying, I wouldn't long other pump fund memes. I think that's pointless. But if pump fund executes correctly, then yeah, the logical trade would be long Fartcoin, short Bonk. But I think I will just long Fartcoin and not touch Bong instead then, if I were to take that trade. Don't know. Because Bong is also very strong. I mean, what they're building, what they're doing. But I might be mid-curving this whole launch, to be fair. Like, I do not know what to expect from it. Don't think it will be as bearish as people are saying. Although if we pull back 5% tomorrow, you will probably see the bears come out of the woodwork. Keep that in mind. Then for dumb on the announcement, yeah. I mean, everything did, right? Bong also pulled back like 20%. All meme related stuff pulled back aggressively, let's say like that. I think long TRX and chill. Gonna see if we can get an entry on this on a pullback. Thanks for reminding me, James. Because I've been bull posting it for the past 2 months, and at least in group chats, not on the Discord. And I just keep forgetting to long it. Because I'm an idiot. I think I might have an ear infection. Every time I swallow water, my my ear, my left ear gives like this piercing pain since yesterday. Need to see a doctor. A lot of people are gonna fade Dino coins. Yeah, 100%. I mean, me too. I faded Aave all cycle basically, and it looks fucking nuts. If we consider this a dino, but yeah, XRP and TRX are obviously bigger dinos. What other stuff is there though? You have TRX, XRP, I guess Monero as well. This seems like it's gearing up for another crime candle. Like return to tradition, right? You see the single print demand here as well, tapped it and immediately bounced in June. Good entry. Yeah, I think XMR and XRP and TRX are the most well-known ones, right? And given people are so tired of memes, it would only be fitting that they just start selling all the 2017 coins. Would genuinely be hilarious. ADA. Fuck, I hate ADA, man. But you are probably right. Maybe we can trade a little bit of a meme breakout on it. If it does like this, if it does retest this diagonal by tapping here, maybe, I don't know. I drew that line on BTC yesterday. And it looks the same. Finally broke out. Imagine the weekly closes below. No, I'm joking. I keyed, guys. Think that's it. Thank you for joining, everyone. Was a good one. I'll probably try to do more like workshops like these, but maybe it will just be every time with other people now because most of the stuff I know is regarding supply and demand, and narratives. But yeah, pay attention to TRX, XRP, and the dinos, like James is saying. I also like that. Oh, my email alert is going off. I also like that for a potential trade with XRP ripping. Where's my shard? I had a. I changed my settings today. I think I'll wait for a bit. It's Friday evening. I'm not gonna. Did I miss the narrative part? Yeah, I mean, there haven't been any narratives. I mean, there have been narratives this cycle, but most of the narrative has been around people buying or companies buying BTC. Whereas previous cycles, you had like, oh, DeFi narrative, and now it's just been meme narrative. We're just like, okay, haha, picture is funny, price goes up, right? I guess the narrative part is that maybe we should pump dinos and make people believe in privacy narratives again, or stablecoin narratives again. You got that follower list for X? Yeah, one sec. Let me check. Let me check. Which wallet did I use for this? This one, I guess. Uh, 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 uh. Export. Here we go. Hope that helps some of you. There's a lot of people in there that shouldn't be in there, but I haven't been bothered to clean it up. Thanks for joining, everyone. See you all next Monday for another stream. That's the list to use in Axiom, Xenia. You can just import it when you go to the tracker settings. Cool. Have a good weekend, guys. And see you all Monday. Take care. Bye bye.